I welcome everyone, but my door is not always open. Tea Tale 64 unfolds with Sen Rikyū travelling across Kyoto town with a fellow tea practitioner. Rikyū asks, "Back at home, is your kettle ready for guests?" The man replied, This morning I came directly to accompany you, so I have not prepared my kettle." Rikyū rebuked him. One must place the guest before one's own convenience. Go back at once, fill your kettle with well water, and set it over fire. By evening, someone may drop by. The tea way asks us to always be ready for tea. The ideal of readiness expressed here is sometimes interpreted as a kind of permanent availability, a limitless openness. But this is misguided. Tea asks us to keep our kettle hot, our house in order, and our heart prepared for unexpected encounters. But tea practice asks something even more demanding than our presence. Discerning the threshold between genuine encounter and self-exhaustion. This threshold is the rubber hits the road, practically lived, ethical dimension of tea practice. The tea principle of I welcome everyone, but my door is not always open. Ablaze with passion, running on fumes. Don't know about you, but when I walk down the street, I want to just walk down the street. I want to notice the late blossoms, the fresh green leaves, feel the joy and melancholy as seasons turn. I don't want to be that dickhead answering another bloody message on my phone while sidestepping another person narrowly focused on the world behind a small screen. Technology pressures us to believe message replies should be instant. Our availability is assumed. But if sincerity is measured by always availability, we end up spreading a shadow of ourselves through virtual and physical space, never fully existing anywhere, nor really being with anyone. Endless openness produces the opposite of meaningful encounter. Exhaustion, resentment, distraction, and shallowness. In tea, being too available can twist hospitality into insincere service and meaningful dialogue into going along to get along. Without thresholds, depth doesn't develop. The Gateless Gate. Tea traditions understand that gates, waiting shelters, paths, and doorways are the architecture of human encounter. Guests wait quietly, contemplating the garden until called. Certain stones indicate paths not to cross. Wash away ego at the stone basin. In the past, one left their sword on the rack above the entrance. Today, we leave our phones outside the tea room. One enters only through doors, left slightly ajar. The borders of a tatami shape how we walk and where we sit. We bow before the alcove, never stepping into the seat of the sacred. Tea room architecture demands restraint, attention, and humility before a bowl of tea is served. Recognising thresholds is a part of our practice. By curating space and time, we create a healthy tension that deepens awareness and refines character. In the tea room, we learn to dwell in many modes of being. Patient, poised, bored, restrained, quietly alert, perceptive, focused, and calm within uncertainty. Ueda Sōko expressed this sharply in this phrase: Mon ni zokushi no ga nashi. I welcome no layperson through my gate. This is often misunderstood as elitist if one assumes the zokushi, or vulgar person, in the middle of the phrase is pointing to social class. But I welcome no layperson through my gate is pointing to a mode of consciousness. Zokushi is egoic noise, selfishness, status hunger, spiritual bypassing, the inability to be here, now. Still, it is important to recognise that Rikyū and Sōko lived within highly cultivated circles of warriors, aristocrats, monks, and artists. Entry into these worlds already required discipline, etiquette, patience, and some of the most refined body and minds history has known. Tea today no longer exists solely within elite circles of society. The gate now opens directly into modern mass culture. Many people can no longer distinguish curiosity from intrusiveness, conversation from self-importance, self-cultivation from content, or chanoyu from a traditional Japanese tea ceremony experience. This means thresholds can no longer simply be inherited architecturally or socially. They must become inward and ethical. Simone Weil writes, "This world is the closed door. It is a barrier, and at the same time, it is the way through." This is not a rejection of others. It's an acknowledgement that every separation is a link, that depth requires form, and that love sometimes appears first as a boundary. Right here, cut off and vulnerable, is where practice really begins. Continuous practice, continuous practice. A personal practice is something like meditation, cabinet making, martial arts, gardening, music, yoga, prayer, or tea. It is a commitment to self-knowledge through an art, craft, or discipline, demanding deep mind-body training. The field matters less than the willingness to submit oneself to refinement through repeating the same forms again and again, each repetition deepening skill, understanding, and self-knowledge. Over time, a practice places us within a lineage of self-confrontation and soul-searching. If we remain humble enough to be changed by what we devote ourselves to, our insights begin to emerge from something deeper than ideology. They are forged in a sustained encounter with reality. A person deeply committed to a practice is the kind of person I listen to. Perhaps because we intuit that their practice has already taught them the discipline of listening. I might be a cunt, but I'm not a fucking cunt. Catherine of Siena was suspicious of speech arising from what she called amor proprio, or self-love. The egoic need to defend oneself, appear righteous, or make every meeting about me. She understood that not all speech serves truth. Some words clarify, others amplify confusion, and others harden division. She believed that the person who has been deeply transformed by their practice no longer clings tightly to themselves. When we loosen our grip on the ideas from which we build the self and read the world, our world expands. We become capable of meeting other people without needing to conquer, correct, or contain them. This is real freedom. Indeed, 650 years ago, Catherine expressed, "I welcome everyone, but my door is not always open," with greater elegance when she wrote, "Love people very much and talk with few of them." Love people very much and talk with few of them. Human beings carry a double need: to be loved as we are and to be told the truth about how we are. Speech and silence therefore possess ethical timing. Much of the time, we hold a mirror up to others without speaking at all. Practice itself becomes the reflection. A life shaped by discipline, humility, and refinement quietly reveals another way of being. Yet there are moments when love asks us to speak. This is only possible if we have already looked ourselves in the mirror of our practice. Without practice, truth feels like an attack and silence like avoidance. But truth offered with humility and forged through practice is one of the greatest gifts we can give another person. Catherine writes elsewhere, "Make 2 homes for yourself, one outwardly quiet and disciplined, and one inwardly rooted in self-knowledge. Do not drift endlessly from distraction to distraction. Set your life in order. Learn to digest your emotions before speaking." No can be beautiful. One year, at a tea event in Berlin, after serving tea continuously throughout an entire day, another tea practitioner who had passed by earlier, promising to drop by for a bowl, finally approached just as I started to pack away my tools. Normally, I would have delighted in serving her. But at this moment, my openness had fallen beneath the level required to prepare a beautiful bowl of tea. So, I refused. My door was closed. Ichigo ichie, or one encounter, one lifetime, does not mean infinite encounters under every condition. Sometimes the most beautiful response is a loving no. Tea asks us to keep our kettle ready and tending to our gate.